When you hear your mentor say, I have nothing to give you, I've given all, maybe this is not for you. It hit hard. I felt rejection, failure, disappointment. This was the moment I lost respect for her. It's actually midnight right now. Everyone's asleep, and here I am, surrounded by my plans, just thinking. I couldn't sleep tonight. My mind kept going in circles, questioning my life, my work, my direction. I kept thinking about tomorrow, about walking back into work. And honestly, I feel this heaviness in my chest. It's not that I don't love what I do. I do. I love my staff deeply. I've seen how much we've grown together, how they've trusted me, how they've allowed me to guide and also learn from them. That's leadership. That's teamwork. That's what fills my heart. But what's been keeping me awake isn't them, is everything above me. Is the feeling that in order to fit in, to be accepted, I have to become someone I am not. I have to speak differently. I have to act a certain way, to think a certain way. And I keep asking myself, why? Why can't we be allowed to grow as ourselves, to speak truth and kindness, to lead with love and still be respected for it? Why does accountability only seems to apply to some and not to all? These questions aren't coming from rebellion. They come from exhaustion, from wanting to do what's right, but not wanting to lose who I am in the process. That verse hits me tonight because it reminds me that I don't have to change my heart to meet someone else's expectations. God didn't create me to fit a mold. He created me to grow according to the light He provides. And just like my plants, each one grows in its own way. My Hoya doesn't try to look like my Dracaena starfish. Each plant thrives in the way it was meant to be. And when it's forced into condition that doesn't suit it, it stops flourishing. That's what I feel sometimes, like I'm under the wrong light, still doing my best to photosynthesize whatever good I can. But even in those moments, I remind myself, God sees me. He knows my heart, my effort, my intention. And He reminds me that being authentic is not rebellion. It's obedience to the person He made me to be. Sometimes after nights like these, when I spend hours questioning everything, another set of thoughts come to me, and they're just as heavy. I start to wonder, am I too old to start again? I've been teaching for 21 years, and now I manage, I lead, I guide others. But I also feel this pull, a whisper, telling me there's more to learn, more to become. That's what made me think about going back to school, maybe pursuing a master's in education, leadership, and policy. But then reality hits. I start doubting myself. Can I really do this? Would I be able to study again, take exam, write papers? Would I have the time with work, with life, with being a grandma? And honestly, Sometimes my memory isn't what it used to be. Some days I forget things I used to recall so easily, and that makes me scared. And then there's the cost. A master's degree isn't cheap, and that's another reason I haven't gone back. It's like the dream sits there quietly in the background, waiting for me to be brave enough to water it. When I read that verse, it gives me peace. Because maybe strength isn't about youth. Maybe it's about faith. I look at some of my older plants, ones that have been with me for years. Their leaves might not be as shiny as the new ones, but their roots are deep. They've seen seasons come and go, storms, drought, and still, they're standing strong. That's what I remind myself. Age doesn't disqualify you. Experience strengthens you. Roots that have survived many seasons can anchor you through new growth. Even as I talk about going back to school, I find myself torn between two emotions, fear and excitement. There's this quiet question that keeps echoing in my mind. Will going back to school bring me peace? Or will it add more stress to my life? Because the truth is, life is already busy. Between work, home, family, and being a grandma, there's hardly a moment that's completely still. And part of me worries that adding classes, homework, and deadline could feel like too much. But then, there's this other part of me, the part that lights up when I think about learning again. Because the idea of education has always filled me with purpose. It's why I became a teacher in the first place, because knowledge changes lives. And now, when I walk into the classroom or observe a teacher leading children through an activity, something inside of me smiles. It's like a little reminder of who I've always been, a learner at heart. And maybe that's what this is really about. Not just going back to school, but returning to the part of myself that loves to learn, that feels alive when growing. That verse reminds me that God doesn't give us dreams to burden us. He gives them to awaken us. And if something brings peace to your spirit, even in the middle of uncertainty, maybe it's not meant to cause stress, but to renew you. Just like plants that pushes out new growth. It takes energy, yes, but it also brings life. It's not easy for a leaf to unfurl, but once it does, it reaches for the light with confidence. So maybe this season isn't about deciding between peace or growth. Maybe it's about trusting that God can give me both. I'm learning that not all stress is bad. Sometimes what we feel like pressure, it's really just preparation, stretching you for the next thing God has planned. And I want to keep growing, not to prove anything, but because learning fills me with joy. It reminds me that no matter my age, my story isn't finished yet. If you're in a place where you're questioning your purpose, your job, or your environment, I want you to remember this. Maybe it's not that you failed. Maybe You've simply outgrown the space you started in. And that's okay. Growth isn't easy, but it's always scary. Just like our plants, we go through pruning, repotting, and sometimes we even drop a few leaves. But it's all part of becoming who we're meant to be. Stay rooted in your faith, your values, and your heart, because those are the things no one can take away from you. Thank you for being here, Planty people. I hope this message finds you in the season of peace, reflection, and renewal. Until the next time, keep growing, stay rooted, and above all, stay majestical.